Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and welcome to a new stock versus tuned in Forza Horizon 4. So this one is going to be very much so focused around the Porsche family of top tier supercars slash hypercars, meaning we are going to be running the stock 918 against a tuned 959. So what we're going to do is the classic stock versus tuned format of running the 918 stock, then running the 959 stock, and then modifying the 959 to see what it's actually capable of once it's modified compared to the trap speed that we get in the 918. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it, and we're going to drive the 918 first. So the 918, truly one of the most technologically advanced hypercars that we've ever seen. But it also sounds crazy. And I think it has the coolest exhaust position of almost any hypercar on the road. And it's extremely fast, and the wing is huge. And I love the fact that they put a hideaway brake light in the wing. So cool. Oh, hello. The cool thing about this car is that the all-wheel drive system allows you to still slide the car, but it's very easy. It's very, forgiving. It lets you kind of do what you want. And if you want to go into a road sign and then plow through a garden, that's your prerogative. You can go for it. But really, what that means is that you can be going around, say, long corner like this, and if you power down, you'll get understeer, but if you are high enough in the RPM range and you load up the front end and then get into the throttle, it will rotate for you. So you don't have to upset it with the handbrake or anything to get it to slide. Now, let's see what it can do through the speed trap. I'm thinking it's going to be somewhere in the 180s, maybe 190s, but we'll have to see. 3, 2, 1, go! Decent launch. Nothing too crazy, but decent launch. There's 140. There's 150. There's 160. Come on. 170. Come on, 918. 180. Into 6th. 190. And 197 miles an hour through the speed trap. Truly up there with a lot of other very fast cars, because not a lot of cars can do that speed from the factory. Now, the Porsche 959 that we have just jumped into is actually new to me. I haven't driven this car yet, so I'm very curious to see what the difference is in performance, because I'm sure the gap is going to be pretty big, but I want to see just how big it actually is. So let's listen to it. Revs really quick. Spins all 4 tires. I mean, it is raining out, but still, that's pretty good for a car of this age. I mean, wow, it's quick. Oh, boy, the Mini. Come on. Yeah, no, it is really quick for its age. Wow. Oh, recovered our all-wheel slide with its 4-wheel power. That's awesome. The interior is pretty basic compared to that of the 918, but, I mean, obviously you're talking about 2 very different generations of cars here. This rotates a heck of a lot easier, as you could probably tell, but, I mean, it doesn't take much. You can actually rotate it under power in the rain if you really want to and get into a really long, comfortable slide. It's very easy to do. You can lift off the throttle and then get back on it to initiate a slide. We're still technically sliding. I mean, you can do it under braking, you can do it on throttle. It's very easy to get this car to rotate, but it's also not sketchy when it gets there. So let's see what a stock 959 will run through the speed trap in 3, 2, 1, go! One little bounce to the rev limiter before it grabbed traction. Such an interesting shape, too. It's always been a very cool shape to me. There's 140. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There's 160. And 165 miles an hour as opposed to 197 miles an hour in the 918. And what's crazy about the 959 is that 165 miles an hour through that speed trap isn't actually all that bad. It's actually still a really good speed for a stock car. But let's take it back to the garage and see what we can actually get out of it once it's fully built. I do have to admit that I'm very excited for this car because putting older cars up against newer cars from the same manufacturer is always one of my favorite types of battles to do in the stock versus tuned series, because you get to compare old versus new, but you also get to compare old versus new when the old car is built. And that to me is just one of the most fun things to do across this entire series, especially with the same manufacturer. So we're going to leave the stock engine in it, and we're going to build it like crazy. Now, obviously, the 918 is very powerful. I don't remember the horsepower figure off the top of my head, but I know it's up there, and it's got to be in order to run 197 miles an hour through that speed trap. So with this thing fully built, which it consists of fully built engine internals as well as race turbos, race like intercooler, oil and cooling, just everything. Actually, I guess you can't really do oil and cooling on this car. That's interesting. You end up with 798 horsepower and 596 foot-pounds torque. So almost 800 horsepower and almost 600 foot-pounds torque, which is not bad at all. And that is like a full build on the engine. So after that, I'm going to throw some race brakes on it. I'm going to throw some race suspension on it. And I'm going to do a race weight reduction, which will bring us down to 2,570 pounds, which is crazy lightweight for the type of power we're dealing with and the kind of drivetrain we're dealing with. Now, I am going to leave the stock gearbox in it just because I don't want to do some sort of I don't want to start messing with gear ratios. I want this car to have its stock gear ratios, but with everything else beefed up. And then we're going to go ahead and throw on some race tires and full width so we can try our best to hook up the power. 315s in the back, 295s in the front. And as far as wheels go, I'm going to throw a fairly conservative set of probably N keys on it, because I know they're going to be light, and I know they're going to, yeah, they don't look bad at all, and they're going to be light, and they're going to just work with the car. We're going to, yeah, I want to, well, maybe not that far. That works. That's better. And oh my God, that like the fitment looks just right. It looks just right, especially in the front. Wow. Now, if we wanted to do some sort of swap, we could do a 4-liter flat 6 out of the 911, or we could do the 4.6-liter V8 hybrid out of the 918, but I'm not actually going to put the 918 engine in it because I feel like that would kind of be going against the whole reason for doing this battle. So, without any further ado, let's take it back to the highway and see how it drives. Oh, it sounds really good. Yeah, it sounds great. And just the way those wheels fit on the car, I like it a lot. Dude, it pulls really hard. It still rotates too. I love that. Like, it's still playful to drive, but it's also planted even with all this power. I love that. Oh, it will give you, like, it will spin all 4 tires in second gear if you're not pointed straight. Gotta remember that, but as long as you remember it, you're okay. Just wanted to see how it would slide on the way into the roundabout. Oh yeah, it does really well at that. Look at that. It's like perfectly balanced, like the amount of power to the amount of tire. It's so good. It's so good. All right, so I'm actually going to launch it in second gear because first gear was mostly just wheel spin. And let's see if this can beat the 197 mile an hour trap speed set by the 918. So 3, 2, 1, power! A little bit of a tire chirp off the line, but nothing crazy. Other than that, it was just full boost off the line. There's 150, there's 160, 170, into sixth gear at 180. Come on! Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, my God, it's going to destroy it at 207 miles an hour. So, that is going to be a win for the tuned 959 against the stock 918. If you enjoyed this episode of Stock vs. Tuned, make sure to click that like button, subscribe to follow the show and follow this channel. And if you're new around here, also, let me know what you thought of it down in those comments. So, I will see you guys next time. Talk to y'all later. The Army have sent tanks after us. They probably have at this point. Let's see. Out of the way! Let's see. Thank you for the follow, Barco5. And Wavewise1, thank you for the 10K. Oh, my God! Oh, it's the Army's defenses. Ah! Oh! Oh, no! They can only hold us off for so long. We must go back. They can only hold us off for so long. We've got this. We've got this. Oh, King Kyle, out of the way! Out of the way!
Forzathon Live will begin shortly. Good luck.